Hi, Doc. How are you?
I'm good, Faye. How are you today?
I'm great. Anytime I get together with you, I am fantastic. So it's a fantastic Friday for me. So welcome back to Health, Wellness, and Lifestyle.
Thank you. It's always great to be here. So let me ask you this. It's the weekend, and so you must have some sort of plans in place. Let's talk about your plans for what meals are you going to cook today?
You know, how did you know? That's like the toughest question on a daily basis. And, I struggle with breakfast sometimes, but also with lunch. Because kind of the day kind of rolls together a little bit. It's not like when you used to be out on the road. So, and I'm trying to be creative. I'm trying to be smart. There's a lot of fruit options. One of my favorite things that I'm having today this afternoon, I love to have like a watermelon and tomato salad with a little
Mm,
bit of olive, a little bit of feta is like one of my favorites.
it's perfect.
So
Nice summer day.
yeah, I mean, I know it's a little cloudy today, but it's still warm. It's like summer mode.
Exactly. It's totally summer moon.
One of my favorite things that I've been cooking, but I want to I need to turn it up the notch a little bit, is cauliflower rice. So I've been really having a lot of fun with it, and experimenting a little bit with it. So that's on my agenda. But one thing that I want to make this weekend is something fun with zucchini, like a grilled or something. Maybe I can wrap something in it, healthy.
Yeah, definitely. No, there's some really wonderful things to do with zucchini, because you can take a madeleine, you can make it really thin, you can do all sorts of things, and you use it. You can stuff it. You can make little boats out of it and put whatever you want in it. I mean, there's so many great. You could have taco zucchini things. I mean, there's so many great um, ways that you could use a zucchini, right? That is not your traditional way, right? Um,
Tacos. I'm sorry to interrupt, but and it's funny because everyone I'm talking to is making like a fish taco or something. So there's got to be like a healthier way or healthier versions. Those are like fun foods that you can try to make over the weekend that you can pretty much incorporate. So I should
oh,
be.
sure.
What are you making, or what do you recommend? You
Well,
know.
like the taco shells, right? It's really easy. You can either, I mean, I do one of several things. Like we're on zucchini today, right? So we'll talk about zucchini. You could really take, you take the zucchini, you slice it lengthwise, right? You scoop out all the seeds, obviously, and you leave whatever is left. Or you can even scoop out some of that too, because sometimes what I'll do is I'll get rid of the seeds, then I'll take a lot of what's in the shell, let's call it, and then I will saute that in with the rest of what I'm doing. Whether it's making a pulled pork, whether it's making a fish, whether it's just cubing up some fish, a fish fillet, and then throwing in some onion, red onion. I love jalapeno. I like things spicy, so I throw in a jalapeno in there, and then you can eat it right from. You eat it like that. So the zucchini becomes the taco shell.
No, but it's kind of cool because it's like a finger food. It's a little
Yeah,
comfort sometimes in the finger food, but it's
of course.
healthier version, which is good. And it's great because everyone wants a healthier version of what to do with meals. So it's a hot topic.
Well, here's another way of doing a taco shell. Here's a simple way. Simple way of doing a taco shell is getting something like Napa cabbage or kale or something like that. That's a thicker leaf, and then you just wrap it in the leaf and fold it over, and that becomes your taco shell. But
Oh,
here's a really fun one: is to get Parmesan cheese. You can make with Parmesan cheese, and you can get a rack, but most of us who have a kitchen have some sort of rack that you could rig, right? It can be like the rack from inside of the microwave or the rack from inside of something. And then you take the cheese, the Parmesan cheese, and you melt it in a pan, right? And then when it's hot, you take it, you let it cool just a little bit, and then you take it and you flop it over the bar, and then it forms into a taco shell.
oh, cool.
And then once it cools, it's a taco shell. And then you fill that with a taco shell, and then it's crunchy like a taco shell, and it's salty like a taco shell. And so that's a really fun way to do something like that. Something that's more fun.
Doc, I have a question because I mean, like in talking with people, for health, wellness, and lifestyle, people want a healthier lifestyle, which obviously a good place to start is your food. Now, do people they're like, oh, I can't eat any meat if I want to go on a diet. I can't have meat, or I can only have fish, or I have to do just strictly vegetables. Is that true?
Well, see, here's the thing I've been starting to sort of think about is America is a land of no, especially when it comes to dieting, right? I can't have X, I can't have Y, I can't do Z. How about I can do A, I can do B, I can do C? And then that's where you create your meal from. I don't know if I told this story to you yet, but I had an experience of living in a small tropical country as a child,
Wow.
and as a child through college and whatever, and it was such a small island that we used to have to wait for the chicken ship to come in or the whatever to come in. There'd be porridge. Do you remember porridge that used to come in like the milk cartons, and you could just pour a quiche? We'd have that, but we wouldn't have like flour, or milk, or the basic necessities.
Mm-hmm.
So really, the way I learned how to go grocery shopping is you go and you see what's in the stores. And that's what you make. You make something out of whatever happens to be there. So for me, kind of this early days of where we didn't have, we couldn't get the foods we wanted. There were all the substitutions. I was like, okay, bring it on. I'm kind of cool with this. This is fun. And I think if more people realized that, like, it's just, if you have the basics, and these days, we have access to recipes at our fingertips. All you have to do, blah, 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 done. You've got 5,000 recipes for whatever it happens to be that you may want to cook. And so I think that's a really exciting thing. Almost make grocery shopping, or what's in your refrigerator or your freezer, be like a treasure hunt. Like, what's in there? Like, what can I make from what's in my refrigerator? So I think that's kind of a fun thing to do. I think your idea of cauliflower rice, it's so versatile. I mean, you could do things, you can do kebabs with it over rice. You could I do a lot of stir fries with that, because then it's like having rice. You can almost make your own Chinese food. You can almost make your own Chinese fried rice with that.
I've been having a lot of fun experimenting with that. I mean, I tried doing it and putting like bolognese on top of it. So, it's trial and error. You can't do any wrong. I mean, I've added a little Greek spice and Greek herbs to it. My own little thing. And it's something that I just not fell in love with, but I'm enjoying. I'm having fun with it. It's a healthy alternative. I'm looking for a healthy alternative. But that's why I brought up the topic, like with the meat. And I'm like, I was a pescatarian for years for some reason. I have no idea why. I went with the flow, and it worked for me. But then I felt like I wanted to incorporate a little bit of meat back into my diet, of chicken back into my diet. So I did it gradually, make sure it's organic, grass-fed. We went through all that, which is fantastic and important. But my point is, you don't have to restrict yourself too much. I think we're all tired of being restricted for a while now.
Yeah, I think we are. And I think it only leads to, restriction leads to rebellion. And I think we don't need to restrict. We just have to say, okay, I want people to not be hard on themselves, but I don't want them to take this time to be gluttonous either, because it can be super easy to think, okay, and it's summer. We want to have a good time, especially those of us who live in the northern part of the United States, where we live for these 3 months, and it's going to be a little more challenging, but certainly not undoable. But I think I just want people to understand that I'm not asking them to change their lifestyle completely. It's just little things that you can do, right? And those little things become habits, right? And what better time when we're all together at home with nothing else to do, that we don't develop some fun new habits that we can use.
Well, let's say, okay, it's a weekend, you want to have a little fun, cook a little something, change your playlist, put some fun music, turn it up a bit, right?
Yeah.
So what are some things you suggest? What do you like to do? Cook up on the weekend when you want to have a little fun, somebody might be like, I have no idea what to cook and have a little fun with, just easy things, from something sweet to fruit to vegetables to whatever.
Oh, well, it's kind of, for me, it's always just, it's how much time do I have and how much time do I want to spend? Because I could spend literally all day in the kitchen. I love it. Like, I love to, like, I mean, on the weekends, what I've been doing a lot is sort of like slow roasting meats, so that they're slow roasted. So it's almost like I've been trying to have a barbecue without a barbecue, because living in Manhattan, I don't have access to a barbecue at
What,
the
how do you have access to a barbecue? I want to tell you, in the city.
moment. So I try to pretend barbecue. So I'll slow roast meat, and I'll like pull it, I'll have pulled pork. So then this way I could pulled pork tacos or pulled pork, whatever. I'll make a mock potato salad. So I use cauliflower as the base. I take the head of cauliflower and, boil it up, but, make it a little al dente, just like you would a potato for a potato salad, and then use the exact same stuff that I would use for a potato salad.
Now
You
that's
know,
fun and a surprise.
and delicious. Like, you wouldn't even know that it wasn't potatoes. I'll do things like I tend to do more. Like, I'll make mashed cauliflower. Now I've been making mashed broccoli. Making that up, putting in the Cuisinart, doing different things with it. I'll throw an egg in it. I'll fry things. I'll try to fry it a little bit, or saute it a little bit. I'm not afraid of trying all these different things. I mean, if it's a mess, so what? It's a mess. It's just more I have to clean, but at least it gives me something to do. But
What do you think in terms of, it's the season for me where you can really enjoy fruits. And I'm sure not all foods are created equal. Some of them have even more powerful nutrients that are important, because it's important for our health, wellness, and lifestyle, correct? What are some of your favorite foods, or for us to start incorporating now?
well, I think there's a lot of talk on, and I actually did this myself. I wrote about this myself. It's called the Sirt Diet. You'll be hearing about this a lot. It's how Adele lost 100 pounds.
Oh my God, I'm dying to know about that. Yes, and my daughters are asking me about that.
Yeah, it's a Sirt Diet. I'll actually going to be on the cover of Women's World talking about it. I just did the interview yesterday.
Oh, wow.
And excuse me for 1 second, my computer's going to die. And anyway, so you can, it's a great time to incorporate foods like that, that have a lot of sirtuins in it. And I don't want to get too technical here, but there's things like, and there's great foods there, like arugula, dark chocolate. What else is in there that's really good? There's walnuts. I mean, there's a lot of really good, fun foods. But in terms of fruit, you're right. Not all fruit is created equal. So I'm not a big fan of tropical fruit, because they have the highest levels of sugar.
What's like a tropical fruit? Like a mango is considered tropical?
Mango, yeah, mango.
That's one of my favorites.
And
Great.
it's mango season, on my little island. Mango, not my island of Manhattan. Mango, papaya, pineapple, bananas. Everybody's favorite fruit is a banana. 6 teaspoons of sugar in a banana.
Oh my God. And I just had
Whereas,
it this morning.
but think about it. I mean, it's everything's plentiful now where we live, right? So go get the local peaches and the plums and the pears, and I mean the plums, the nectarines, like, and they're pretty low in sugar and they're delicious. And they're all grown all over Long Island, which is great. They're probably grown in many parts of the who's going to be watching this. So I think berries, melons, it's a great time. It's melon season, just as you were talking about before. We have that great watermelon salad. So there's lots of really ways of tweaking your diet without depriving yourself of a single solitary thing that you may want. So
Watch
I
the
think that's,
excess up. Like, we have to watch the excess up. Like, I love mangoes. I love what I'm a big fruit eater. I've always have. And my mother every morning, whatever we ate, would always have a big plate of fruit. So if you had, eggs or whatever, you couldn't start your day without having fruit. And grapefruit was my least favorite. She loved it. So I avoid it till today. But I do love mangoes. My kids, if I bring cherries, they're gone within the same day. So like, there's certain fruits that I even see my kids go after. Watermelon, we go through like 2 of them a week.
Great.
I cut the whole watermelon, and everybody just and it's something that all 6 like in this household. That's a big deal. And I think it's healthy, and especially with the water, you want to make sure you're hydrated this time of year, correct?
Hydration is very important. And, hydration will keep your metabolism going well. It'll keep keep your skin better, more hydrated, because we're indoors a lot, right? So we're in internal environments where we either have air conditioning on, heat on. Well, up until last week, I had heat on. It was so cold up until last week. But, now we have air conditioning on, which also dries us out completely. So it's a wonderful way of getting in additional fluid, which is to have some watermelon, or, get a little bit creative in what you want to put in what you want to drink, right? People complain that they don't like water. Okay, well, if you don't like water, maybe like make sun tea, get some herbal tea bags, get some fruit, put it out in the sun, and let it bake and make a nice tea for you. There's so many wonderful ways of creating something that's delicious, that is different, and that we can all use to benefit us. Because if you're adding, like, for instance, green tea, good for your immune system, right? So brew up a batch of green tea, make it iced tea. Use that as your iced tea base for the summer. And then you're getting good immune value from the what was that? What am I talking about?
The green tea.
Oh, the green tea, right?
Immune system.
Yeah, use that. Throw in. There's so many different things that you can throw in that's good for your immune system. Mint is good for your immune system. There's so many green tea. Ginger's great for your immune system.
White tea. I use white tea a lot.
White tea's fine. It's got tons of catechins in it. It's got
peppermint tea, and my kids love that too as well.
Peppermint tea is great because it doesn't have caffeine in it, so that's always a good plus for people who don't want to drink caffeine all day.
I'm sorry. No, I wouldn't be able to go into my weekend without knowing also, cocktail-wise, what are you enjoying? What's something fun you're going to be enjoying this weekend? Because I know you've been having fun a little bit with cocktails.
I have an immunitini, which is my immune martini, and I've been making some dessert drinks using protein powders, actually. So you can use them as the base to thicken up the dessert drink, so that you can eat it. And look, you can make them as mocktails too, right? You don't have to add the alcohol to them.
No, I add the alcohol. So
well, Friday's on your mind.
Totally. I can't remember. Like, thank God it's Friday. I don't care if I'm losing track of my days. I know when it's Friday, and I know when I can make a fun cocktail. So I got doctor's orders. I just needed to know what you were putting in it. So
yeah, no, I'm putting in things like mint and green tea and ginger, and there's just so many things that we can do. Like, for instance,
you can add that into your drink.
Yeah, of course.
I have no idea.
You like, what I do is I take did I tell you this? Where I take the ginger and then I peel it and then I put it in the freezer.
No.
You take the ginger root, you peel it, and then you put it in the freezer. So then you can just take it out anytime you need it, and it's super easy to grate. You get one of those zesters.
Okay, here you go. Mm-hmm.
And most of us have a zester or something that looks like a zester, right? Yeah. And then and then it makes it so much easier to get the juice out of the root, and that's what you use in the drink, and that's helpful for your immune system. You could put a little stevia in it if it's a little too tart for you, because sometimes something like that can get really tart and people don't like that. I love the tartness. It's a different feeling and flavor.
It's a little fun.
Yeah, there's these great sweet leaf makes these little drops that are stevia, and they're flavored. They come in little like eye drop, size bottles. They've got like 50 flavors.
Oh,
So
wow.
I play around with those where, I'll throw in a little, whatever. It could be mango. They have like a mango one, or they have like whatever. And it's non-nutritive. If people don't know what stevia is, it's a non-nutritive, all natural sweetener. So it's got no calories, and you could use it, and it's perfect. It's delicious.
I really have to get my daughter used to using that. She likes things a little sweeter. She doesn't like the tartness as much, and it sounds like a great alternative. I I forget about it a
Well,
lot. And
stevia is an alternative. Monk fruit's an alternative. And monk fruit you can actually bake with. So
really,
yeah, monk fruit works as just the same as sugar. So, because what sugar really does is sugar is also a thickening agent as well. Like, it holds ingredients together. So it's not that just we like the taste of it. It serves a purpose when you're cooking. Whereas stevia does not do that, monk fruit or lohan does do that. And you can get that. It's available in every grocery store. So it's not like I'm talking like I'm Chinese here. I mean,
or on some remote island or something.
yeah,
It's easy to find.
yeah, no, it's super easy to find. And so I encourage people to use that for, I'll use that to make desserts or things of that nature. I sort of am not, I mean, I'm a huge dessert person, but I've trained myself not to be.
Well, how did you know that was the so that was like the last question before before I go and try to have fun into the weekend of Fun Friday was dessert. What are you doing? What are your thoughts? I'm trying to since I've been home a lot more, my sweet tooth has really kicked in, and it's hard to not want to indulge in it. I'm not like a pie eating, but I like a little sweet. I like chocolate. I like, so what are you doing for fun for desserts for the weekend? What can we whip up?
Well, there's great stuff. I mean, if you want to stay like, all right, let's do a couple different things, right? Let's do fruits. So you can take berries, melons, whatever, something like that. You can take dark chocolate, 90% chocolate that sort of, is really super bitter. You could add a little stevia to it, or a little low, you melt it, add a little stevia, a little lohan. You could dip the strawberries in it, or you could just pour it over. What I do is, because usually I get too lazy to do the dip, and then, unless I'm having people over, but who's having people over nowadays? So it's like, why bother going through that part? But you could actually dip it and then put it on wax paper, and then you've made your own homemade healthy strawberries dipped in chocolate. But so you can drizzle chocolate over, your fruit. You can make whipped cream. You get heavy whipping cream, make it yourself. Don't buy the store-bought one. It takes 2 seconds to make it yourself. I add in chocolate to that, chocolate powder. Put it in the refrigerator, it becomes a mousse, like a chocolate mousse. Then there's another thing that I do, which is super easy, is to make it a cheesecake. And not that I'm a big fan of this, but I'm going to say this, is that you get diet Jello. You make the diet Jello just as on the instructions. You pour in. You can take 2 16-ounce, 8-ounce things of cream cheese. So 16 ounces of cream cheese. You take a hand blender, mix it up. You put it in a pie tin or whatever you want. Put it in the refrigerator. 4 hours later, you have cheesecake. And it's flavored in any flavor that the Jello's flavored in.
I had no idea you could do that with Jello.
So that's
Ever.
super easy, super easy. So there are ways of doing it, like the cauliflower rice. You can make rice pudding out of that.
Really?
Yeah, you sort of like I mean, the way I make rice pudding is traditionally is I take the milk and then just let the milk evaporate with the rice in there, so the rice soaks up the thing. So you do it the same way, but you add the cauliflower later. So you take the milk that you would normally do, or the heavy cream, and just sort of stir it and stir it and stir it till it starts getting thick. Then you put in the rice, the cauliflower, and it's the same thing as rice pudding.
Do you know how amazing that is for Greek mothers that have to make the rice pudding with the cinnamon on the top? What a great alternative it is to the rice.
Yeah, and then you add the cinnamon to that, right? Because cinnamon is also an antioxidant. So it's a great antioxidant. I add cardamom sometimes to it, which is an Indian spice, which just gives it a little bit of like
Fun.
flair. Yeah,
Yes.
it's fun. It's a different spice.
So let me see if I can trick my kids into seeing that it's the same. And my husband will be the biggest test to see if he'll know if I change something in the rice pudding. It's cauliflower rice. So we'll see.
Yeah, why not?
I have to tell you, you really made my Friday fun. So
Good.
this is awesome. Thank you for making it fun and adding a little flair.
Yeah,
So,
we've got to have fun. It's time to have fun. It's summer. We've been cooped up for too long. Let's have fun. Let's think positive and be positive all weekend long.
so doctor's orders. We will have fun. We will enjoy. We will get out there, add a little flair, a little fun, and just enjoy.
Absolutely. Have a great week.
Thanks,
Faye. Talk to you soon.